85% of the disease is caused by inflammation. And you know what the inflammation is caused by? Lack of earthing.
Mental fog, how can they shift that?
So mental fog has its roots in many different things. It's very much connected to inflammatory food.
So the food, because the burgers, the Pepsi, the Coca-Cola.
That's it. So sugar, sugar, which is in any kind of carbonated soft drink, that's going to be challenging for the body, immediately inflammatory. You've got those gaming keyboard, gaming mouse with all the rainbow light. But if you're using a Wi-Fi keyboard, then the Wi-Fi signal is entering the body, which then has its own problem.
Welcome to Ascend Esports podcast, Eeshira.
Yes.
How are you today?
I'm really good. How are you?
I'm good, great, thank you. Wow, so this topic is basically wellness for gamers.
Yeah.
As you know, gamers have been so busy in their life and they are doing many activities on the digital aspect of it. And they really want to excel in their lives, but they are facing a lot of problems in their life. Example, mental fog, or they're not even too much grounded enough, or they're not able to focus for long. So a lot of problems and challenges and hindrances. And you as an expert, I would love to welcome you first of all, and then get some tips and tricks so that they can embed in their life, so that they can have like high peak performances in all their games.
Great. Yeah. Yes. Hi everyone. So I'm really passionate about this subject because I think all of us need to be more and more careful and more loving and kind to our bodies and have more self-care. So if we think about technology, and we know that if we use a lot of technology, how that makes us feel. And obviously the mind gets really active, So we get up in our mind. And so often that means then that we are out of tune or not feeling our body so much. So we're suddenly not aware of what's going on. So things like, I know with gaming, you've got those great, I've actually got a gaming keyboard because I love all the colors and a gaming mouse with all the rainbow lights. It's just great. So having a keyboard, but having a keyboard that's wired. So because your fingers are touching the keyboard, and that means that the bones of your fingers are touching the keyboard. And if you were using a laptop, for example, or you're using a Wi-Fi keyboard, then the Wi-Fi signal is entering the body, which then has its own problems.
Wow, that's so nice, because I never thought about this. Tell us more.
Yeah. So if we think about frequency, if I was going to give sound to you, you would ordinarily think that sound to the ears would be the fastest way of giving sound. Yeah. But actually, if I was using a tuning fork and I put it onto the muscle or put it onto flesh, that's more water-based, so it's 4 times faster. But if I put it onto bone, onto the fingertips, it's over 10 times faster, speed of sound. So that means that frequency is getting into the body faster. So therefore it has a deeper effect. So that's why having a wireless keyboard is not a good idea, but getting a wired one, and also getting a wired mouse.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's top number 1 tip. I think for anyone who's out there and using wireless stuff and thinking it's cool, no. Let's get back to our traditional routines where we can use with wires so that we can protect ourselves fully.
Yeah. And the beautiful thing is that they're cheaper too.
Oh, cheaper too, exactly, yes.
And then the same will also go for Bluetooth speakers, anything Bluetooth. There's so much research showing that this is not, not so healthy for us.
Totally.
And then if we think about what is a comfortable position, what's a comfortable posture, I know you've got these great gaming chairs with a big thing, big arms, but what happens to a posture? Do we get into such a kind of, we're getting really excited, or whatever the position is, then we're losing connection with the body. And what happens with that? So breathing becomes shallow, then maybe that affects digestion. Maybe over time, that's also, affecting oxygen input, which then affects the brain, which then affects our mood. So all of it. So having that, next tip would be, imagine an invisible thread in the center of your head and pulling up and finding that alignment in the spine. And then if the gaming chair, it may look really great, but there are very cool ergonomic chairs that you can buy, which actually encourage an erect spine.
Wow.
You know, where you are, the hips are thrust forward and then the lower legs are tucked back, but you're still grounded. And then your body's getting a really good posture, and therefore everything's working optimally, especially if you're on there for hours.
Oh, yes.
You know, because you can get completely into it, and then again the body's going, you know, and that obviously affects, that will benefit any back pain. Then we've got RSI. So if we are using the mouse and repetitive strain, you know, to find a way of doing conscious body relaxation. So if there are moments in the game where you can consciously relax the body and just take a deep breath in and a deep breath out, and then ask the body, where am I holding? Where am I tight? Where's the energy not flowing? And then you can notice how the body's compensating with the wrist, how the body's compensating with the elbow, and how, you know, if you're a right-handed mouse, you know, are you getting neck tension up here and shoulder pain, you know? So if you're doing conscious body relaxation, you know, if you go to the gym, right, most athletes or most people know you've got to warm up,
yes,
right, the muscles before you do any exercise. And then you do a cool down. Yes. And if you break that down, what is that? That's warming up the muscles. Yeah. And the cool down means you are stretching out the muscle and you're draining the lactic acid. But if the lactic acid from the exercise doesn't drain, that's when it creates tension.
So true.
You know?
Which is so amazing now for any gamers who are out there. They are thinking, okay, we got to save the time to play more and avoid physical exercises. Then it's completely wrong. You need to have like a warm up before your game, so it can help you able to move your energies, and then so that in that way you can perform really well.
Yeah. And you will find that you will just feel better, you know, and not wiped at the end of that session, however long it was, you know. And then including that with the grounding. So if you are wearing shoes, are they leather soled? If they're leather soled, they're naturally grounding, which is great. But if you're wearing a plastic shoe, you know, this isn't naturally grounding. If you're wearing synthetic socks, this is not naturally grounding. So wearing cotton socks, wearing leather shoes, or earthing shoes. Earthing shoes are great, you know, and you can also get earthing mats.
Wow.
It's worth checking out emfanalysis.com. This is my website. A friend of mine, Jeremy Johnson, his website. And he is an expert in Wi-Fi.
Wow.
And mitigating, reducing your exposure. And he says something really simple. You know what he says? Mm-hmm. The best way of reducing your exposure to EMF radiation is to reduce your exposure.
Wow. Wow.
You know, which kind of makes sense. It's like there's a lot, and what he also does is he exposes a lot of scams, because there are lots of little stickers, or you put your sticker on your phone, sticker on your screen, and actually they're just like a placebo. They don't actually work.
No way.
Yeah, he's done a lot of tests and verified that a lot of this is just scamming people. So grounding. So if you've had a long session, get out on the earth. You know, if you haven't got the earthing shoes, get out on the earth 20 to 30 minutes a day. And by just standing on the earth and breathing in fresh energy up through the feet, you are bringing in fresh energy from the earth. And as you breathe out, you can start releasing the static and you're discharging that EMF. And it's super easy. And you can just be chatting with a friend like you and I are, you know?
Wow.
And then you just drain out that kind of build-up. Wow. And you naturally get earthed. And 85% of disease is caused by inflammation. And this was in the earthing documentary, which you can find on YouTube. It's free. Clinton Ober wrote that book. 85% of the disease is caused by inflammation. And you know what the inflammation is caused by? Lack of earthing.
Wow.
And if you look at our lifestyles, we're more sedentary. We're not out running like a kid barefoot on the grass, you know? And we're wearing synthetic shoes, we're wearing synthetic clothes, and this all disconnects us. So these are really great tips. And then, of course, we have blue light. Yeah. And I know a lot of gamers wear those glasses. It's important to know how to work with the blue light, because I see some people drive around on the bikes here and they're wearing the yellow amber light during the day, right? But we need sunlight. So we mustn't shield from sunlight during the day. We need that. Many of us are vitamin D deficient, actually, globally, if you look at the, you know. But obviously at night, after 6, when the sun's setting, then it's really good to get the red glasses. And you can, you know, you don't have to spend a lot, you know. And if you aren't working on a PC or a Mac, you know, a big computer, and you're working on a tablet, then you can actually, if you've got an iPad, or if you've got an iPhone or a Mac, you can actually set color filters.
I love it.
Yeah, which is great, which means you actually, you enhance the red in the screen, so you don't even need the blue light blocking glasses.
Nice.
Yeah, because I actually bought them and I was like, okay, I'm going to get those. But then what I noticed was, because the lens, my eyes are then, they are focusing doubly, because they're having to focus through the plastic and then what I'm looking at. And if I take the glasses off and set color filters, I don't need to deal with that.
Of course not.
And I don't have to deal with the plastic. So it really depends on what your device is. If your device is, you know, if you can set the color filters, then do that, because you will notice that the eyes immediately soften and they relax, you know.
I love this tip. And also when you talk about grounding, it's great because last 3 weeks almost, I haven't wore any shoes since the time I'm here.
I noticed that, you know, when I arrived, just like, hey, he's got his shoes off, great.
And it's great because I understood that grounding is so important. So if in your life you are somewhere where you are always wearing the shoes, so try adapting the lifestyle of grounding, right? I think this will be really good. And so many gamers also suffer with focus.
Yes, yeah. So that was the next thing I was going to talk about, eyesight. So there are many different eyesight exercises. You can just go on YouTube, look, eyesight exercises. And there's the 20-20 rule, which is look up every 20 minutes. Obviously, it's maybe not possible during a game, but, you know, whenever you have a break, look up.
Look up.
Yeah, look up from your device. So you're on the screen here, and then you look up.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be up here, but anywhere.
Yeah.
And then you look at 20 different objects for 20 seconds. And what that's doing, and at different lengths, and 20 feet in front of you, yeah? So you are adjusting your focus. So now it's no longer close vision. You know, now the eyes are working differently. And that starts to then relax these muscles. And it really does help, because a lot of people get ocular migraines, which is to do with a lot of, you know, a lot of working on devices. I remember I met the amazing Mayor Schneider, who runs the School for Self-Healing in San Francisco. Oh, wow. And I was presenting at a conference in LA, actually. And he had everyone in the group. He handed out these pieces of paper, and pieces of paper were just paragraphs of text, smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller. And it was like 10 paragraphs of text. And he said, okay, highlight which one you can comfortably read, and then the one below that you can't really read. So, you know, and I was looking at, okay, yeah, 5 I can comfortably read, but the other ones which are smaller, it would be challenging, right? And then he has everyone stand up, look into the distance, and we're on the beach, right? So it's very easy to look a mile into the distance, and then do that at the same time. And you're actually by the eyes, so not lower. You're here by the eyes, and you do it for 6 minutes, and you're just standing, breathing, relaxing, and you really keep that focus of a mile in front. And what that's doing, that's like sit-ups for the eyes.
Wow.
Yeah, because it's actually, yeah, exactly. It's operating the peripheral muscles, which are involved in one aspect of focus, but then it's operating the long-sighted, you know? And then he had everyone go back to the page. And you know what? I could read 2 more paragraphs down in the smaller text. 6 minutes.
Wow.
It was amazing.
So nice.
Yeah. And he's written a book, Vision for Life. Kindle, you can get it online.
I love it.
Yeah.
Wow. So that's about the focus, right? What about the times when the performances are not that great and the feeling is not that great inside? So maybe anxiety. So gamers who are facing anxiety, what's the solution for them?
That's great. Well, being the witness of your thoughts, you know, being from India, right? And having that ability to witness. So anytime the mind goes crazy and goes, oh no, it's not working. Da, da, da. If you look at any athletes and you look at how they power themselves up through the mind and they really focus and they don't, if we imagine it's a bit like the sun, right, in the sky, and you've got a whole bunch of clouds and some of those clouds are full of rain and, oh, there's some thunder happening. And like we really get into the dark cloud versus, oh, there's the sun over here. You know, and the sun represents the positive thought, you know, or the true, you know, joyful self.
Yes.
You know, the thing is not to get attached to the cloud, not to get fixated and thinking that that's a problem and that's how it's going to be, because then we will start to create that, you know. But the key to anxiety, what is that? That's the breath, you know.
Come back to your breath.
Yeah. So taking deep breaths and not just breathing through the mouth, not just breathing through the nose, but breathing through the mouth. Why? Because now I'm opening up this channel far more widely.
Oh, yeah.
And then, and allowing the exhale to be really relaxed. So it's not, but it's relaxed jaw, open throat, relaxed shoulders. And you can do very simple technique of 4 in-breaths, in-breath for the count of 4. So, and then an out-breath for the count of 6.
Nice.
And if you do that enough, you know, even for a minute, that immediately starts to down-regulate the nervous system.
Wow.
But focusing it into the belly, not so you're, you know, it's not all into the lungs, because if we shallow breathe, that's where anxiety lives. But if we breathe into the belly, and we can even put our hands here, you know, then we can down-regulate, and it's a grounding breath as well.
Wow.
You know?
Wow. So interesting. Last week has been experiencing cold plunge.
Ah, yes.
And that's really fascinating to me, and which I think the viewers who are also into gaming, but again, if they are not using this aspect in their life, I think the performance cannot enhance if you're not using this, because cold plunge, it's like dopamine release and so many good things have happened to me. In the first time, it was very hard because it was like going about 2 minutes, 3 minutes, but today I could be able to do 12 minutes.
Wow.
Yes.
Good for you. Yeah, it's amazing for circulation, but it's important to know, whilst it's really good for men, it's not so great for women. Oh. It's actually not recommended.
Oh.
You know, the studies are now showing that women have a different body type. So definitely good for the guys though.
Okay, so all the girls avoid it.
Yeah.
Wow. What about the mental fog? As gamers are playing long time, there's some mental fog. How can they shift that?
So mental fog has its roots in many different things. It's very much connected to inflammatory food. It's connected to brain function. It's connected to lack of grounding. So if I think about the average person who's on a computer.
Let's say the food, because the burgers, the Pepsi, the Coca-Cola.
That's it. You know, so sugar, sugar, which is in any kind of carbonated soft drink, that's going to be challenging for the body, immediately inflammatory, you know. But, you know, grounding, again, that helps with the inflammation, right? Seed oils, another classic example. So your cheap seed oils, which are sunflower or palm oil or anything which isn't basically olive oil or coconut, you know, sunflower seed oil. Sesame seed is okay in a little bit, but not overdosing. Yeah. And then meat, wheat, all of these things, and anything which is basically grown with pesticides. So, if you're looking after your health and you're eating organic, or as much as organic as possible, then you haven't got that chemical input. And avoiding foods which don't have glyphosate in, because that affects your mood. Actually, it affects your absorption of certain amino acids which are related to your mood. So yeah, and the other thing I would say is hydration.
Big one.
It's a really big one.
Big one.
Yeah.
I think gamers who are not keeping a big bottle of water, I think that's a big problem, because you will always forget to drink that water.
Yeah. Yeah. And if you've got a scales at home, just weigh yourself in pounds, and the recommended daily intake for water is half your body weight in pounds. So say you're 121 pounds. So 60 pounds, so 60 fluid ounces. Obviously, we're working in American measures, 60 fluid ounces, and then you can convert it to mil if you're into litres. Yeah. That's the recommended daily intake.
Wow.
So having a water bottle on your table, but knowing, okay, maybe I need to fill that up twice in the day,
sense.
and that's my intake for the day.
At least, yeah.
Then you're good, But if you have, it's half full and it's from the day before, and that's all you drink, then your body's going to be going, oh.
Yes. So true. And so happy that you're able to share these insights. I would love to know more about the app also you created.
Yes. So I've created a Happier, Healthier Me.
Wow.
And it's pouring 35 years of health research. Wow. And I'm also an expert in sound frequency, working with frequency, and also detox. So it's 12 modules of amazing content, looking at most things that we have to deal with, in the body, in terms of diet, in terms of cognitive function. So if you're interested in enhancing your neuroplasticity in the brain, which of course that's a great thing with gaming. Yeah. It's really firing lots of new neural synapses. I also look at muscle tension, how to relieve pain naturally, all things with natural remedies, how to deal with sleep. So if you are someone one simple tip, just to deal with sleep, would be turning off your Wi-Fi at night.
Wow.
I don't even have Wi-Fi where I am. I hardwire my connection. And if you're doing a lot of online stuff, that's also another thing, because that affects our body and affects our energy levels. So I also look at energy, boosting vitality in the body. So you've got, you're ready to go every day. You've got all the energy, rather than waking up and just like, you just can't even get yourself out of bed.
Makes sense.
Yeah. And emotional balance. How do we have tools which address what's going on for us? I mean, so much going on in the world. And, with all the different challenges, we all feel everything that's going on the planet. So it's so important to be looking after ourselves, being the ultimate mum and dad, and if we didn't get that from mum and dad, then learning those tools. And I share, everything that I have learned along my path, I love to share that. And then detox, detox needs to be something which isn't just something that you might do, say, once or twice a year, but actually, far more regularly. And most of us have got parasites, and we don't really talk about that. Doctors won't talk about it because they want to keep on giving you, certain other things. And parasites affect your brain. They affect your mood. They won't make you want to eat sugar, So parasites, I'm passionate about people knowing about, again, natural remedies to treat that.
So how often do you think someone can do a digital detox?
So I do a digital detox once a week on a Sunday. So I go to the beach and my phones are off, and because I can't even see it on the beach, it's kind of like, I'm kind of, making that happen,
Yes.
Yeah. And anytime you feel that the body needs that, if you're feeling tired, that's not a normal state. I mean, maybe you've had a busy day, but then noticing that and go, okay, this is the point where my body's going, hang on, I need a bit of attention.
Yeah.
And you can eat grounding foods, things which help you just come back into the body. Yeah. And the app is A Happier, Healthier Me. You can find it on studio.com under my name, Eeshira, Eeshira. And yeah, and if you're checking that out, it gives you a personalized journey. So if you name your top 3 health goals, then it gives you a personalized journey guiding you through. Yeah, and there's lots of breath, sound and movement practices. So lots of breathing, lots of moving the body, moving energy, using your voice. Our voice is actually the #1 healer.
Oh, yeah. Can you tell one idea that the gamers can use? One idea that comes to my mind is just shout, ah!
If we ask our bodies how I'm feeling right now, and I want to shift my state, asking a very simple question. Okay, body, I'm not feeling great. When I think about feeling this way, the sound my body wants to make is a sound which is going to release this tension, release this pain, release this stuck energy, whatever it is, and ask the body. Not with the mind, because the mind's going to go, oh, I'm not really sure, but just with the body. And if you look at a child, what happens? When a child bangs their knee, what do? They immediately go, ah! They're naturally opening the throat. They're naturally making it really loud. And then it's over, and then 10 minutes later, they're back playing with their kids, their friends,
And then after 10 minutes again, ah!
Yeah.
Again after 10 minutes, ah!
Yeah. But generally, and letting it be a different sound.
Yes.
Because as you release, it's like draining, sewage from a pipe, or, throwing out the trash. As you're throwing out the trash, there's going to be a difference in the energy. So it'll be a different sound. And if we get into that, your body's guiding you, and the body's so intelligent, it will show you, but we've got to ask.
Yes.
And asking really good questions gives us amazing results. That's one thing I love,
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Super nice. So coming towards the end of this, what do you think is one thing that at least the gamers should involve in their lives with? The basic necessity that without this, it's a tough one.
I think having meditation is really helpful, because from that body awareness, we can then start to navigate and go, oh, this isn't feeling quite right. Oh, I'm feeling a bit tired, or, oh, my body's, got a bit of pain, and then doing something about it, and not pushing our body. Like if we look at many people walking down the street today, they're leading with their mind, and they're literally, you can see the head moving ahead of the body, versus if I'm grounded and I drop into my belly and I'm deeper breathing, then I'll lead with the hips, I'll lead with the belly, lead with the power center, So,
wow.
Yeah, so catching ourselves and noticing,
wow.
Then the body can show us, and then we know, oh, I need to do something different. Yeah.
That's super interesting. So it has been a very interesting conversation using sound, body, movements, and breath.
Yes.
All these things, as you involve more and more in your life, it just becomes effortless in any industry you are in, and then your performance starts to rise. So thank you so much for all of this.
Oh, my pleasure. Thank you so much for inviting me.